Good morning, welcome back again. As in the previous video, we did A and we found that we got a $200 per week. I want to point this out, please. Make sure that you put the unit. In this case, it is the dollar sign. Because if you just write 200, it could mean 200 markers, it could mean 200 pens, it could mean 200 pencils. You want to always put the unit, $200 per week. And if we have to check it, we find out that in the first week he needs to save $200. In the second week he will save how much? $400. In the third week, $600. And of course, by the 12th week, okay, he should save at least $2,400, right? Now, let's go to the B part. Write an inequality describing the number of hours Joe has to work in order to save at least $2,400. So, here we don't know how many hours he has to work. But we do know that Mrs. Jones pays him $8 an hour in the morning to babysit during the daytime, and also $6 an hour in the evening. So these are two different rates. Okay, morning $8 per hour, night $6 per hour. We now want to find out how many hours altogether he has to work in order to come up with $2,400. So, but we don't know how many hours. And remember what I told you, anything you don't know in mathematics, anything you don't know in algebra, assign a variable to that thing. So let's say, let the number of hours, okay, during the day, because he must not work the same number of hours, yes. He must not work the same number of hours during the day and also during the evening. So let's find that of the hours during the day, let's call it X. And that of the hours during the evening, let's call it Y. Okay? So we say let the number of hours during the evening be Y. So let's backtrack a bit. If she pays him $8 per hour during the day, that means if Joe works for 1 hour, he will earn $8. If he works for 2 hours, he will earn 8 times 2, which is $16. If he works for 3 hours, he will earn $24, right? You did 8 times $3. I'm sorry, you did $8 times 3, which is $24. Okay? If he works for 4 hours, he will earn $32, right? So if he works for X hours, he will earn 8 times X, which is 8X. Do you understand? If he works for 1 hour, it will be 8 times 1, which is $8. If he works for 2 hours, it will be 8 times 2, which is $16. If he works for 3 hours, it will be 8 times 3, which is $24. If he works for 4 hours, it will be 8 times 4, which is $32. If he works for X hours, follow that same reasoning. If he works for X hours, it will be 8 times X. Okay? So, $8 per hour, okay, for X hours will be 8 times X, which is 8X. The same thing, $6 per hour for Y hours. We don't know this yet, will be 6 times Y, which is 6Y. So, if he has to make $2,400, now this is in dollars, okay? This is in dollars, of course, this is in dollars. If he has to make $2,400, if it's going to be equal to $2,400, it will be 8x plus 6y equal to 2,400. But this is an equation. Equal. This is not an inequality. If he has to make at least $2,400, at least, remember what we said was at least, greater than or equal to. We said it here on the previous video. So for that equation, it will now be 8x plus 6y should be at least 2,400. This is at least $2,400. If he says, how many hours will he have to work to make more than $2,400? If he says to make more than $2,400, it will be 8x plus 6y greater than 24. This is to make more than $2,400. This is just to make $2,400. This is to make at least $2,400. This is just to make more than $2,400. This two is inequality. Equality and inequality. Equality is the equation equality. Equality. You have equal to, and inequality you have either greater than, less than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Thank you for listening, and in the next video we are going to do the C part. Thank you.